Hi everyone, Susie here again with another tutorial, lucky you, this time on masking. I use so many masks on my pages, let's have a look at one mask. This is by Studio Romy and it's probably similar to a lot of the masks you would get in kits. So it's got quite a block colour, solid colour in the middle there, so hopefully our photo will come through. So I'm just going to clip the photo to it. A couple of ways you can do that. If you go up to layer, create clipping mask, that'll do it, or the way that I do it, which is to me is a lot quicker, is just hover between the two layers, hold the Alt key down and you'll see that little symbol appear there, and just click or unclick or click. So let's just shrink that a little bit there. So there we go, there's our mask. Sorry, I have to have everything small. There we go, that'll do. So got quite a lot of green there, don't really want so much green. So the first thing I'm going to do, it's probably a bit small, isn't it? You probably can't see it very well. Let me make that bigger. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get rid of some of that green. So quickest way to do it, Control T, and I'm just going to hold Control down and push in a little bit there, and there we go, that's got rid of most of the green and that black at the top, but there's still a little bit left there. So what I'm going to do is clone some of the photo just because I can. I mean, obviously if this is a face you might not be able to do it so well. So I'm just going to hit S on the keyboard, which is the stamp tool here, the clone stamp tool. If you hover on it, it should come up. Of course it won't do it. There we go, clone stamp tool S. So that S is what you press on your keyboard. So I'm just going to Alt click here and basically just clone it, paint over it. There we go. A little bit there, a little bit down here. Oh gosh, I'm doing all this with a mouse. I never use a mouse for this kind of stuff. There we go. There we are. You never know. On a little bit here as well. There we go. So there we go. Now the eye here, there's a little bit happening over here. So I'm just going to select the mask tool, the mask layer. I'm just going to hit B for brush, and I'm just going to basically just do that. Just go over it, and I've just brought back her eye a little bit. The other thing I don't really, not too happy about is that straight line, so I'm just going to get rid of that. So still with the mask layer, I'm just going to go back to the S, which is the clone stamp tool, make that a bit bigger using the brackets. I'm just going to Alt click here and basically just paint down here. Let's get a bit of that. Oh, look, I'm doing this very quick, and there we go. So that's how you can just change a mask a little bit. Oops. There we go. So that's one way of changing a main mask. Just going to file that down there. Now the next mask I was going to show you is this one. This is by Captivated Visions. Clearly it's not a mask, it's actually a paint splat, paint blob, but you can see that it's quite, let's use the move tool, it's quite faint inside, so our photo is actually going to be quite faint when I clip it. So let's just shrink that a little bit there. I'm just going to clip it, Alt click, and you can see that, yeah, the photo, it is very faint. So how can we change that? Well, very easy, very simple. I'm just going to paint over it in the middle. So just with that mask layer, I'm just going to hit B for brush, and just up here the opacity, now I'm just going to take it down to 50. Now rather than fiddle around with here, I'm just going to come back out of that. if I just press 5 on the keyboard, it's just changed it for me, or 6 or 7. I did that a bit quickly. 7. So let's go back to 5, 50%. I've got, you know, a soft edged brush there, and I'm basically just going to paint just within that mask there, just go over her nose a bit and just change that to about 80%, a little bit there, go back to 50, there we go. Now obviously that eye there, I'm just going to come and undo that, her eye there, we can just use the same method as we just used. So S for the stamp tool, I'm getting croaky, sorry. I'm just going to click just inside that mask and move it up and just paint like that, and then I get that that edge, and there we are. I brought back that eye on the clone tool, S, click there and just get rid of the green, just do the same down here, and voila. There we go. Very rough, but you get the idea. So that's that. I'm just going to file that away. Now here we go. The other masks, the two masks we've just used have been black. This again, clearly not a mask. It's more of an overlay. This is by Studio Romy. But you can use anything as a mask. So I'm just going to click Alt-click there. And you can see it doesn't matter what the colour is underneath, it still does this exactly the same thing as a black mask, so you would never know what the colour is underneath. So I'm just going to file that. So that's your basic masks. Oh look, we've got all this extra stuff on BIM now. So you can use, there are some other ways you can use some masks. You can basically clip your photo to anything at all. You can clip it to some text if you want to do that, some ribbon, buttons, anything. Here I've got, look at that beautiful flower, isn't that beautiful? You can actually clip your photo to that just to show you. It's blue and it's an element, and there you go. You would never know it's blue, and well, clearly from that you'd never know that it was a zip flower, but I just want to show that you can clip a photo to anything. So let's file that away. Now this one here, this is a frame. So pretty much every kit comes with a frame. But how often does your photo fit that frame? Pretty much never. So just to get around that, I create a clipping mask. So just underneath the photo, I'm just going to create a new layer, and I'm just going to hit M on the keyboard, which is this marquee tool, and I'm just going to draw a triangle inside the frame there. I'm just going to, I've just got black here. In fact, let's switch it around to that beautiful green just to show you it really doesn't matter the colour. I'm just going to hit G, which is the paint bucket tool here, and just clip in there. If I turn this off, Control D, you'll see that I've created a clipping mask. Just bring that back in, and now with my photo, Alt and click, and there you have it. So I can now move the photo around to, I don't know, whatever you want. So that is a really useful tip. Another tip, I'm just going to copy that photo for a minute. If I was to merge these layers, if I wanted to put a blending mode on there, let's do multiply. Let's say we've got something underneath like this. Obviously it's showing, it's a blending with that overlay underneath, which is not what you want. So let's slip in here another mask. So I'm just going to create a new layer there. I'm just going to M on the keyboard, I'm just going to draw a rectangle, but this time I'm going to go down to the background there. I'm going to F3, which is copy. I'm going to go back to my blank layer, which I think is that one, and I'm going to F4 to paste it. So we've now got a copy of the background. Obviously this is a block colour, but you might have, I don't know, a paisley pattern or something underneath that you might want to come through. So and now we can use our blending mode, which I've got as multiply. Let's just brighten that a little bit. So there you go. I use that quite a lot too. So that's that. Now let me just turn all this off. Another thing that you could do is create your own mask. So I'm just going to create a new layer here, which is blank. There's my photo. I'm just going to clip it to there. It's obviously disappeared because there's no mask there. So just with a brush, let's get a fancy schmancy one. I don't know, this one, no, that one. Oh, I really need a brush organizer. There we go, that'll do. And maybe just make it a little bit smaller here. Actually, I'm just going to show you another quick tip. If I copy that photo and put it underneath and do the opacity really low, you can see whereabouts it is on your page. So just with that blank layer and the paintbrush, opacity 50%, I can just, you know, draw whatever there. Probably not the right brush, but you get the idea. Gone a bit over there. Let's take that off, and there you go, you've made yourself a mask. Let's do a bit of, there we go. Anyway, you get the idea. So there, you've created your own mask. One other thing is blending modes. Now if you're going to put a blending mode on, oh, I haven't got one here. Okay, let's take that off. If you've got want to put a blending mode on, put it on the mask, not the photo, because generally with all these blending modes, if you put it on the photo, let's use multiply again, it's going to show the mask through rather than well, the effect that you want. So always put the blending mode on the mask. If I put multiply on there, you see that it's actually done the photo rather than, that's a terrible mask, isn't it? Just brighten it a little bit. So there you go, that's pretty much it. You can put a drop shadow on a mask obviously, or put a stroke on it, or whatever you want to do. You've probably seen my other tutorial on lots of masks with a photo, the same photo clipped to each of the masks and moving that around. That's a really good one too. So, oh, there you go, there's Bimmy asking to go outside. So I hope you've enjoyed that and learnt a little bit from it. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found this useful.